What is going on, people of YouTube? My name is Kurtyoy. Welcome back to the Let's Talk Football podcast. And, we missed last week because it got to the point where we weren't really,
It was Friday.
It was Friday, and we thought, you know what? It's a bit too late to record a podcast. And before that, we both weren't free at the same time. And when we were, I just couldn't be fucked. I think that was Thursday when I couldn't be fucked. On Friday, we were like, well, we could do this. And that's very true. FIFA was out. That's very true. And so we're here with Gameweek 7. We've got a lot to talk about this week, surprisingly. We're going to ignore last week, although you just missed a rant about West Brom 4, West Ham 2. Fortunately enough, West Ham don't disappoint, and they've decided to give Joe another chance this week. We shall get onto that in a sec. But more importantly, I forgot, I should really intro Joe. Hello, Joe.
They know who I am. They know I'm going to be here. There's no point in saying, oh, by the way, surprise special guest. It's the same guy as every week.
I mean, your name is on there. It's Let's Talk Football podcast with Gingy X and Kurtyoy. Or Yo.
Sorry.
How the fuck you say my name?
That go off. Kurtyoy.
It's confusing sometimes.
Kurtyoy.
But anyway, we have quite a big topic. I mean, I could have got a video out yesterday, but it stopped rendering halfway through, so the chance of me getting a bit of clickbait money, YouTube money, was gone from the big Sam Allardyce scandal. Oh, goodness gracious. We seem to screw things up.
I thought we were going to talk about the Walking Dead Season 6 being out on DVD.
That is very true. Are you watching it at the moment?
No, I paused it. Because just in case you start to hear gunshots and think that I live in some bad art. Okay, let's just carry on. I don't know what that was.
But if you have been living under a rock, you won't have known that Big Sam Allardyce has actually lost his job as England manager, and you're thinking, how did he do that? He won his first game, he's had a 100% win record, he hasn't conceded a goal. In fairness, he leaves with the best record in England manager history. Well, it all got a bit skew-whiffy. He's been caught doing some dodgy shit. Okay, and a little lesson.
And not the kind of shit you get after Indian.
No, although he probably would have a monstrous shit after Indian looking at him. He is the sort of guy that, you go in the toilet after him and you want to commit suicide at the smell. It is bad. No. But Sam Allardyce has lost his job, mutual consent. I mean, he didn't really have much choice apart from hand in his notice and give it up. He can't really fight, saying he didn't think. Basically, he got caught out, an undercover reporter, saying there is way around, rules of the third-party ownership. He also dissed Roy Hodgson and called him Roy, which, many papers were quick to say, that's a horrific, why would someone do that? And then you look back to Euro 2016 and, most of their titles are Bring Home the Euros, Roy. So, papers are hypocritical. And he also took the piss out of Gary Neville as well for some reason, saying that he basically, Gary Neville needs to sit down and shut up about Marcus Rashford. But anyway, Big Sam, where do you reside on the whole situation? Or have you first, kept up to date with it, and what do you think on it?
So first of all, I'd just like to put out my interest in the job to the FA, just to so they hear that. Second of all, I'm actually disappointed because I wanted Big Sam as my England manager, as you know, Kurt. I felt like he was the man that would actually pick Mikel Antonio. And after that, I was walking home yesterday with another friend of mine called Alex, and we were trying to actually think about who the next England manager could be. And we have no idea who he's going to be.
Well, see, the thing is that what a lot of people forget is that although he wasn't the first choice, he was a good choice, because no matter what you say, for the last few years and the last few managers, whether it be Roy Hodgson, Fabio Capello, anywhere further back than that, we missed that sort of something that Allardyce brings to the team, which is, steely determination, never give up, rigid, structure. We lacked all that, and that was Big Sam is someone that brings that into teams. I mean, he's done it countless times as a Premier League manager, most notably Sunderland. When Dick Advocat left, we're thinking, oh goodness, they're going down. Big Sam comes in, you're thinking, I don't really want Big Sam to go down unless you're a West Ham fan. Then you're thinking, get down.
No,
Well,
I
most
don't
West
mind
Ham
Big
fans.
Sam. I respect what he did for our club.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But most West Ham fans, aren't too pleased with Big Sam, or wasn't at the time.
They're not pleased with anything at the moment, so let's not bring them into it.
But he brought a structure to the team and kept them up. And we've seen it is him, because Sunderland now have a new manager, David Moyes, who I believe, I'm not gonna go and try and find it, but in some podcasts, I believe when Big Sam left, before you had Bilic, you said you wanted David Moyes as your manager. Looking back, do you still want him?
No, I did say that, because at the time I didn't realise how awful he actually apparently is.
But yeah, Big Sam would have employed that, and he's gone. The temporary role has gone to Gareth Southgate, so I'm assuming the next international,
Stupid!
Gareth Southgate will take over the first team role, which begs questions: who will take over down to anyone's role? Frankly, I couldn't give a shit.
Marcus Rashford.
Marcus Rashford. He'd do a better job. I'd take him over Gareth Southgate, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
Gary Neville for an England manager.
Especially after Big Sam, annoyed him.
Especially after all the stuff he did at Valencia.
But
I feel a sneeze coming.
Oh, I'll talk for a bit then, as I can hear you take a deep breath in. But that's the problem though, is that
It's gone.
The problem that we have now is that we had to let him go. What he's done, in a few years it'll be forgotten, and people thinking, that's his career ruined. I don't think it will be. You go back to Diego Maradona. The guy did drugs, brought around fake piss with him to get away with drugs test. The hand of God, and England fans around the world regard him as one of the best. You've got, John Terry, caught up in racism, did however many people's, wives, and now people, still think he's a quality defender besides that, and many people, surprisingly enough, including myself, would happily see him back in the England team. People forget this sort of shit. He'll be back in a few years' time. It'll just need time. It will blow over, and think a few people bring it up just as a bit of, trolling, a bit of hating, but he'll go back in. And for England, there's a struggle to find a name that would bring us forward. The obvious person for the FA is going to be Gareth Southgate, who I think we were lucky to avoid when Big Sam got it. And now we're going to be really unfortunate if we do get him, because Big Sam has fucked us, basically.
Let's just face it. There's only one man for the England job, and if you need me, you know where to find me. FA, just hit me up on Twitter.
What's your Twitter name?
At Joe Gingy Palmer, I believe.
Oh.
I think it's that.
I have no idea.
But I would take the England job. I think I could turn it around.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
because basically, I'll just pick Antonio, and we've won every game. Then
stick him up front, back post header, 1-0. That's all you need.
I would consider putting him up front. At the moment, anyway.
He can play in striker. He played in striker for us. He played in striker for Forest before he joined us in the youth ranks. He could play in striker for Reading. But on the subject of next manager odds, of course, the favourite by an absolute mile is a Gareth Southgate, which I think is something I don't really want to say. You've also got people second favourite looking at most of the bookies, Steve Bruce, who's unattached, which I would really dislike.
I heard that yesterday, and I said, you're just, you are just replacing like for like, but the difference is between Sam Allardyce and Steve Bruce is that Steve Bruce has been relegated in the past, and Steve Bruce is not a good manager. Alex Bruce will get called up to the England team.
Oh, don't. Please don't. I completely forgot about Steve Bruce and Alex Bruce. Alex Bruce will be assistant manager, captain of the England team.
Well, at least that means that Rooney would get dropped.
Yeah, good point there. We've also got Alan Pardew, some of the favourites. Eddie Howe, someone which I would honestly lose all faith in the FA if we appointed. Glenn Hoddle. I cannot stand Glenn Hoddle. I would not stand him as a manager. I would be fully against England then. Jurgen Klinsmann's being chucked about. Arsene Wenger is...
Klinsmann, that's who I want.
Klinsmann's a very steely manager. I'd happily take him because he's done a good job with USA.
Yep.
And that's
I want Klinsmann.
That's proof. And there's also other managers, like I said, Arsene Wenger. You got Mancini, Hiddink. To be honest, if Hiddink was chucked into the ring, I'd take Hiddink. You've seen that he turned a shockingly bad Mourinho side into something that could defend slightly with no real signings made. And even with the signings made for Chelsea this season, Conte struggled with that again. Blanc is chucked in there. Then you got the stupid names like Ranieri, Pellegrini, Van Gaal, Bilic is up there. 33-1. You are. Where are you? I can't find you. So that's odd.
I must be 5,000 to 1 then. And well, if Leicester can win the league,
exactly.
But I need to look at it.
One name that is actually rather low on some bookies, compared to other people, is the soon-to-be unattached ostrich man Nigel Pearson.
Why is he soon to be unattached again? What's he done now?
He's been shit at Derby, and he was suspended for the team's game last night. I
know he was suspended because it came up on my phone, but why?
He's just been doing shit. Derby at the moment are sitting 20th in the table,
right.
9 points from 10 games, and they also lost
if
again.
He'd been doing some lines, that's all.
I said that, I got the wrong week. Derby won 2-0 away from home against Cardiff, so I think that's pretty much secures his next move out the door. But this case of Sam Allardyce highlights the problems with greed in football. There's reports that he was the highest paid international manager in the world, and he still went for more money. Then he also thinks that I still think although it is completely his fault, the press can't help but stick their nose in, and I just can't stand the press. Press always seem to why do we keep on underperforming in these major tournaments? I don't understand it. Oh, hold on a minute. It's because we keep on doing undercover ops
because
on loads
I'm not the manager.
Because you're not the manager, exactly. But press is a problem. Big Sam, he had to go, unfortunately. As much as I do feel sorry for him, and that's pretty much the end of that. There's nothing more we can say on that, really. And I think
there is. Start the petition. Palmer for manager.
Palmer for manager.
See what happens.
I might actually try and do that. Look into that before and stick it in the description. Put annotation on the screen, take you to it. See how many people actually signed. See how many people actually got to the 12th minute of the podcast.
12 minutes in already. Jesus Christ, I feel sorry for you all.
Anyway, 12 minutes of Big Sam is all you need. We're going to move on to the actual game week. Game week 6 happened, and it's worth noting I got a bit of stick for my FPL. I'm going to put that out of the way. I got 25 points.
Is that all you got?
Yes.
Oh, thank God for that. I've caught up to you a little bit.
Trust me, I've dropped down
47.
to I'm just inside the top 1 million.
I guess you could say you're making a meal of it.
Very, very funny. Very funny. It partially isn't my fault. I mean, fuck's sake, you're such an asshole. I want to say it's not my fault. But I did leave Heaton on the bench instead of Foster. That made an extra 5 points. So that was 30. That's the max I could have got. I mean, is there you name me? I mean, I took a captaincy of Walker, which didn't go very well. But you name me another game this season.
That was your fault. That was your fault.
I'll take that, but usually you've got other players to back you up. I've fucked up on Hazard a few times this season. Other players to back me up. This game week there was no bonus points. They had 2 or 1. Was Stones, Walker, Bailey, Pereira, Lukaku, Ibrahimovic, Costa, Capoue, Antonio, and Payet. Redmond got 3. A game week where none of them get a goal or assist will never happen again in FPL, or a clean sheet.
Yeah, I mean, I unfortunately captained Ibra, and of course in the starting lineup I had vice captain Aguero. So that was a bit of a kick in the teeth, but hey ho.
Yeah, and that is
I still got almost double yours, 47.
If it helps, it's moved me down to 503 in my FPLT league, which I said if I'd give away 100 quid at the end of the season, I didn't finish in the top 100. So, not looking good there. I'm 400 below where I'd want to be, but there is still time for improvement. But yeah, wanted to get out of the way. Let's start off with the games. And we started off with thinking it's relegation struggling Manchester United against the champions, and now we could be potentially saying the future champions against the relegation struggling Leicester. Man United went to town on Leicester in the first half. I got back pretty much as the first half whistle ended, so I missed all the 4 goals. I only saw one, the best goal in the match. It was Damari Gray. It was a fantastic strike, but it's another. Well, Man United surprised me. That 45 minutes was like old school Man United. It wasn't like Van Gaal, it wasn't like Moyes, it wasn't like Mourinho up until now. They killed them. They weren't only just shooting down the range. They were literally just, they got them down on the ground. They put the gun to the head and it was repeatedly shot over and over again until they knew Leicester were just going to get, until they knew that they had no body parts left. They were just mushed on the floor. That's what they did. Second half, though, it turned to shit again. Man United didn't really create anything, and Leicester were a better team without Vardy and Mahrez. So, as much as it's a good performance for Man United, it's slightly troubling the second half performance. I mean, I can accept the fact that they were 4-0 up. I mean, there is a way to accept that. And for Leicester, ever so slightly worrying. I'll head over to you because I know you have a few strong words for Leicester this season. But yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I said it from the start that they're going to struggle this year. So far, they're only just proving how smart I am when it comes to football. That's why I support West Ham. You see, I like a team that is so inconsistent it actually hurts me. But yeah, I mean, Leicester, they've had a few big results, haven't they? Where they've lost. And of course, they lost to Hull. They lost 4-1 to Liverpool. They've now lost 4-1 to Man U. But you can't forget that they've also had a good result. One of them, 3-0 against Burnley. They're not
Burnley, those title challengers, Burnley.
No, let's face it, Leicester aren't going to go down this season. But they're not going to be up at the top. They're probably looking at a mid-table finish. Yeah, I mean, who have they got next?
They have Southampton at home.
Southampton at home. That's going to be an interesting game.
I think it will be a really tough
Southampton
game.
Will win.
I think it could be low amount of goals. I mean, you've got to consider it this way. Leicester, discounting their Burnley game, they've had 2 tough games. Liverpool and Man United. Liverpool, they lost 4-1.
And Arsenal.
And they drew 0-0. This is the thing. I forgot to actually include Arsenal. They drew 0-0 against Arsenal, didn't score any goals. Next tough game, Liverpool. They lost 4-1. The only reason they got a goal is because Lucas felt sorry for them and literally gifted Jamie Vardy the easiest goal he'll ever score and got Lucas's first assist in like 10 years, I think it was. Next up, 4-1, Manchester United versus Leicester. And again, the only reason they scored is, and credit to Damari Gray, an absolute worldie that you do not score every game. That is 3 tough games, and on another day, that'd be 0 goals scored. That's where Leicester's problem is. The big teams are battering them. I mean, they did get a 0-0 against Arsenal. It wasn't the best of games, but they're not looking to get in front of goal against the bigger teams. The smaller teams are picking up points, so I think that's where they'll easily survive. Somewhere between... Yeah. I think they'll be bang on between your prediction and my prediction of 11th and 17th, I think.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I guess that's about it for that.
Yeah, and it's worth noting as well that BBC, not only is Joe applying for the England job, I could say we're both applying for a punditry job because I looked at the pre-season thing. Every single pundit had Leicester 10th or above. We'll see at the end of the season.
Yeah, well, I've said this before. That's why I'm very good at Super 6 guessing. Not been as good this year so far, but I'll be back. Don't you worry.
Winning those 250Ks.
Yeah, it's just rolling in it, aren't I?
God, you could, if you won 250k, you could clone yourself and have the podcast with Gingy X, and Kurtyoy.
I could do that, or I could probably
start your own podcast.
I could probably buy my own football team. Yeah.
I would be tempted to do that if I won the Euro Millions. Actually, talking about that, if I
I
won like a
would,
few
but it
million
sounds like a
pounds,
lot of work.
you can just hire some person to take care of it. And that means also you could quit your job, you could live off the interest, and run a football team as well on the side.
Or I've got an even better idea. You just don't do anything.
That's true. That's very
Get
true.
a job. You
Just live a normal
just
life.
have a normal job with money.
Working in the Greggs. How much have you got in the bank? £17 million at the moment. Fuck me. What are you getting paid on here at Greggs? Jesus Christ, get me a job. But
Yeah, £5.40 an hour, like.
how many hours have you worked this week?
That's actually below
725.
minimum wage, so if they're actually doing that, that's against the law, Greg's.
That is
Yeah.
very true.
I had Greg's earlier.
Oh, was it nice?
It was really good.
Excellent. One thing I just thought of, Harry Redknapp for England. Would you take that?
Yeah, well, you know, I'm a great player, great manager. Yeah. You know, he'd be calling out Jermaine Defoe each week. Nico Crenshaw being your first team.
Jamie Redknapp on the side.
I ain't no fucking wheeler dealer.
Modifies
Fuck
the
off.
dugout and always has to hold a car door. But yeah, I think we've pretty much shared that, and the best thing about this thing is that we go off topic so much. I mean, somehow we moved from Manchester United being Leicester 4-1 to Greg's. Don't know how, but yeah.
Well, Greg's on for.
We're going to move on to the 3 o'clock slow. There were some good games. There were some boring games.
Yeah,
Bournemouth,
so 1-0 to Bournemouth.
one of the most exciting. To be honest, the first 5 minutes, I was watching Soccer Saturday, and it was Cammy on the game, and Cammy said, you know, hold on to your hats, this is going to be one of the most exciting games of the season. I was thinking, excellent. So I went for a nap, because I work on Saturday, and that's about the time where I start getting really tired from all the, you know, early starts on the week. I wake up and I think, 1-0? What happened to this exciting game, Cammy? But apparently it was still a good game. I mean, from what Cammy said in the first 5 minutes, Broch made about 5 or 6 saves. Looking at FPL, he's made 2 saves. I don't know what game Cammy was watching, but yeah, Bournemouth 1, Everton 0.
He's
Everton
playing
slumps.
FIFA. That's what he
He's
was
playing
doing.
sleeper. I was playing FIFA. That probably explains it, and it probably explains why it was so exciting end-to-end stuff. Liverpool, on the other side of Everton, you know, we've got
That
Liverpool.
Milner kid's not bad, is he?
Milner, yeah, 2 penalties. I mean, he has scored 3 goals this season, also took 3 penalties. Coincidence? I think not. Another game
That's,
where... Carry on.
Most creative left back in the league. Interesting
Well,
fact for you there.
Going by normal standards, then
Stats.
yeah, but if you're going by FPL, he's a midfielder.
Right, but he's actually playing in left back.
Yes, that's very true. It's another game, really, that I'll just mention quickly that Hull have managed to score in. I'm not sure there's many games where they haven't managed to score, because they played against Arsenal, they scored in that. Scored against Burnley, they didn't score against Man United, but maybe were unlucky to. And then you got the fact they scored against Swansea, of course. They scored against Leicester. So I think they're going to be, okay, but it's about whether they can stop conceding the goals. Middlesbrough gave a bit of a fight, but they lost 2-1 at home to Spurs. Game of the day. Stoke, with their passing fantastic football. And West Brom, the only team that beats them in their passing style of play, 1-1. What a game!
I'll tell you what, when I heard that game for the 3 o'clock kickoff, I was sitting there thinking, you know what, why didn't they move that onto Super Sunday?
Is that mainly because you saw West Ham were on there, the only game you thought,
Right,
please no?
anyway, let's
I
not
don't
talk
want
about that.
We'll quickly move on. Sunderland were 2-0 up, and I thought,
What a comeback!
by Crystal Palace.
Sorry, that's spoiler alert.
Who won 3-2 away from home, and Sunderland fans are not happy about that. Man City won 3-1. Yes, people are going to be, Man City won again this, Man City won again that. But I tell you
They
what,
weren't very
Swansea, matched them punch for punch. It's sort of that fight where you see, the boxer come in, you're thinking, oh, he's got to win. But this unknown fighter comes out and, matches him pound for pound for, 8, 9, 10 of the rounds. Then at the end, City, in the end, just whip their dick, i.e. Aguero out, slap him down with it and think, take it. And that's
But
basically
then
what
again,
happens.
week before, which we didn't get to say, they were off good, weren't they?
They were good in that game. I mean,
against Bournemouth.
It's the first time they get to clean sheet. First time John Stones out of the team. John Stones came back in the team. Didn't keep a clean sheet. Coincidence? I think not. But it's also worth noting in that game week, someone, for some reason, 4-0 up, and Alito decided to headbutt someone. I still can't get my head around that.
I thought that was funny.
I don't get it.
It just reminded me how much of a knob football players are sometimes. Sorry.
You're 4-0 up against Bournemouth at home. Thinking next time I could literally just whack my dick out and jerk off for a few minutes. But you just headbutt something anyway. That's all the 3 o'clocks. Most exciting, Liverpool. I mean, obviously there was that red card for El Amadi, but Liverpool again were ridiculously good in front of goal, scarily good in front of goal.
Yeah, Mane, Lallana, Coutinho, 3 key players in that game for sure.
Yeah.
Of course, all Milner did was put 2 penalties away, so that doesn't count. But Adam Lallana showing to continue why he's one of my favourite England players. Mane, of course, starting to prove that 36 million price tag. And, well, everyone knows what Coutinho is capable of on a good day.
It just depends whether he can bring out the good day. Because in all fairness, it's the second time he's brought it out.
For a year and a half.
Well, Arsenal, he was quite good. He scored 2 goals at the start of the season.
Yeah, I know, but since the start of this season, he's been a lot better. But a year and a half before that, he's been pretty shit.
I can accept that. But Liverpool, triumphant. Another one I want to talk about quickly before the 3 o'clocks was Sunderland's, self-destruction against Crystal Palace. And they really did self-destruct, and it was, a bad one. 2-0 up at home. You're thinking, oh, excellent, nice, easy win. But no, they concede a goal on the 60-minute mark. Ledley comes in with his beard, nuts it. I don't know if he nutted it, but he gets it in. Then 76th minute, they concede a second one. You're thinking, oh, for fuck's sake, Sunderland, we're dropping 2 points here. You're thinking, ha ha ha, you wish you dropped 3 points, because Christian Benteke in the 94th minute was like, boom. Ha ha. Well, the one word I can say to describe this is a boom, as Jurgen Klopp would say. And Crystal Palace end up winning. It does show, I think, funny stat, Crystal Palace made the most crosses, or attempted the most crosses this season by, I think, about 20, which, you can guess is because they've got Benteke up front. But Sunderland...
Just you wait till West Ham got Carroll back, and then whenever he's not on the pitch, we'll be crossing the ball in all the time.
Well, it depends when he's back off the piss, really.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Well, yes, I did see that this morning. I woke up to it and I was like, that's my Andy.
It was Dan Randolph as well, don't forget about him.
No! Oh, Randolph!
It was Carroll and Randolph that were
See, I
really
wanted
drunk.
Randolph to get into the fucking first team, because Adrian's pissing me off.
Well...
Starting.
Uh-oh.
Anyway, that Arsenal team, they're not bad, are they?
No, Arsenal. We're going to Arsenal now. Sunderland. Well, actually, we're going to Arsenal in a bit. The point on Sunderland is that last season, Defoe's goals were getting Sunderland's points. So they were getting 1 point here, 3 points here. That in other games they were losing. This season, Defoe's goals are just making the losses seem slightly less worse. That has got to be the most worrying thing for Sunderland at the moment.
Yeah, probably. I mean, there's only so much one player can do, and that's something that they've got to get to grips with. And what they'll do is they'll end up buying a load of crap again in January, and this time it won't keep them up.
Yeah, and they'll be left in the situation that they've got almost like a mixture between Newcastle and QPR. They've got to go down to the Championship and shift out a load of people that aren't happy on high wages. And
a lot of players that aren't actually that good on high wages, which is very hard to do.
Exactly. I mean, they shouldn't have got rid of Wes Brown, personally.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Experience.
On to that Arsenal team that won 3-0. Did you watch any of the game?
I watched the highlights, and the Walcott goal, my God.
I don't think I've seen a goal like that since the Wilshere
Jack
one.
Wilshere.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
they tore Norwich apart.
They can. The pundits on the game tried to lay blame on the second goal on dodgy defending on Chelsea's part. That's not the case.
What can you do?
there might have
when they're
been
passing the ball
a
around
slight
like that.
thing here, slight thing there, but a goal like that, you've got to sit back and just admire. It doesn't matter about slight mistakes, because those slight mistakes, don't matter. That goal was going to be scored anyway, and that goal is sublimely good. Chelsea have just got to admit, they were fucked. They were
Yeah.
bent over and fucked in that second goal.
Yep.
The other two, I can think, Gary Cahill was in Lulu La La Land when he allowed Sanchez to tackle him, run through and score. And, the third goal, Ivanovic was just like, don't want to get back anymore. Ozil got, he's a goal. Arsenal won 3-0 from then, and Chelsea didn't really look like they're going to affect at all. It's not only Arsenal's attack, it was their defence as well. They completely marked Costa out of the game.
Yeah, I heard that Mustafi and Koscielny completely put him in his place.
I was a bit worrisome about the price tag on Mustafi, but he played like that all season, and Arsenal are going to be a real force to be reckoned with.
Yeah. Well, it's quite interesting because, of course, Mertesacker is the Arsenal captain now. And, of course, when he comes back to fitness, what happens? Does he get dropped?
If you,
Surely you can't change something that ain't broke.
if my captain came back and, I had two centre-backs in front of him that are playing like that, you cannot drop either of them, Koscielny or Mustafi, to bring Mertesacker in, because A, he's proved last season he can be a liability at times, and B, those two are in such good form with Monreal and Bella on either side, why change it?
Well, no, more to the point, I think Mustafi's much better than Mertesacker anyway.
Oh, yeah.
But he is the captain. I am the captain now. But...
Well, I think the
who's
worrying
the
thing...
vice?
I think isn't it Koscielny?
Surely it's Czech.
I thought Koscielny's had it for ages.
It might be, I don't know.
I'll check on Google quickly. Who Arsenal vice captain? Here we go. Survey says Santi Cazorla or Petr Cech will take the armband during Mertesacker's injury absence of the 13th of August.
So I was right.
Yeah, you were right. I don't know why I thought it was Koscielny. I thought it was... Oh, anyway, I was wrong on that. But Arsenal, yeah. Even the point last season, Mertesacker was quite often chopped and changed with Gabriel. Surely that doesn't look good for him. Come on.
Gabriel.
He's a liability as well. But anyway,
Yeah.
Arsenal looks good. Chelsea, on the other hand, worrisome.
I would especially be worried if I put them to win the league.
Yeah. Don't know who would do that.
Yeah.
We
all know who I'm talking about.
The sort of imbecile that puts Chelsea to win the league is sort of person who's like, I'm going to captain Kyle Walker for an away trip to Middlesbrough. Them sort of knobheads, them ones.
Can you please clarify what your thinking was in that?
Well, Middlesbrough have been shite recently, and I do think they are an overrated...
Yeah, don't say that, because we're playing them at the weekend.
Middlesbrough are an incredibly good team. Spurs are just a lot better. Is that better?
Yeah, that makes me feel better.
And the way I saw it is that they're missing Harry Kane, so they need an extra player to go forward. Kyle Walker is one of the best at getting forward and coming back. And I thought, A, Spurs will get a clean sheet, so that's 6 points. Captained 12. B, he get bonus points from going up and down. C, chip in a few assists, maybe a goal or two, hopefully, on a really good day. And the thing that exemplifies my point was that, do you know who got 2 bonus points on Fantasy Premier League in the Bournemouth-Everton game?
No, was it Adam Smith?
Seamus Coleman.
Sure.
Everton lost 1-0, and Seamus Coleman, the losing team's right back, got those bonus points. That's what I was trying to play on, because I knew Walker has it in him to do that, and Coleman did it. It's just Walker didn't, and I knew looking at the fixtures there was no one I could really play, and I was looking for a differential. And in the end of the day, I don't think it mattered at the moment. Because
Should have came on Sunday, mate.
I don't even have him in my team.
Worst thing is that Kyle Walker even got a yellow card.
Yeah, I saw that and I thought, no, Kyle, what have you done? What have you done? Oh. Anyway, that's my thinking on that. I just want to go on quickly, go back to Swansea versus Man City. Because I don't want, as much as I think, Man City, they're doing okay, it's another Premier League game. You know, admittedly, Bournemouth was the first one they've really, gone swiftly through in. It's another Premier League game. They were 1-1 for a long time, and there was times in Soccer Saturday watching it back when, also in the highlights, that Swansea were really troubling and looking like they were going to get a second.
Yeah.
And that's good. I mean, somehow or sometime, Man City will go on a run of not getting the extra goals. Kevin De Bruyne's out for possibly a month. They might miss him, but Aguero's back and Aguero scores of anyone.
That's a massive thing. Kevin De Bruyne, literally about to say that, because he has been not carrying that team, but he's been getting goals and assists every single game. And it'll be interesting to see if anyone can sort of take up the mantelpiece, because of course Aguero is going to be scoring goals. Sterling is still going to be playing as well as he is. But De Bruyne is running mid-games in that midfield.
Yeah, and it's also worth noting Man City's next game is an away trip to White Hart Lane.
Yeah, it'll be a tough game because they got banged twice by Spurs last season.
It is also going to be a really interesting game on Sunday when it happens, because it is one team travelling there who have not done anything but win against the only other unbeaten team in the league. Because Everton, of course, were the last standing. They lost to Bournemouth. That leaves Spurs and Man City. Another one might lose it this coming game week, and I'd be putting money on Man City, to be honest, to lose it, because as much as Tottenham, they're without Harry Kane, you're thinking, oh, well, Man City, they're without De Bruyne, they could move maybe David Silva in there and move Nolito out wide, but they don't have that, because Nolito headbutted someone 2 games ago.
True.
So they're missing...
well, I mean, unless they draw, there's going to be one team that loses their unbeaten record anyway. I
don't think it'll be a draw. I think one team will win or the other.
Yeah.
I worryingly think it's Man City. If they do, then it's going to be worrying for the Premier League. But it'll be interesting because De Bruyne is a top-class player, and they will miss him. But
I think it'll be interesting because Spurs have been... I mean, let's face it, Spurs have been pretty shit this season, yet they find themselves in second place, having not lost a game yet. I mean, what? 1-1 against Everton, they weren't great. Then a 1-0 win against Palace. 1-1 with Liverpool, they weren't great. Then they beat Spurs 4-0, give them credit where it's due. Then another 1-0. And then a 2-1 with Middlesbrough. They're literally doing what Leicester did last year, winning games by 1 goal.
Are you trying to, say someone's going to do a Leicester this season and win the league?
Well, did I or did I not say Tottenham are going to win the league?
To be honest, I did say that at the end of last season as well. I'm going to point that out. Before all the managers came in, all the signings came in.
I did say Tottenham were going to win the league, but I did change it for the predictions because I think I put Man U up there.
Oh, I didn't put them there predictions-wise. I just didn't think they had the strength. But they're proving me wrong, and they've got that resilience. And
they've got Heung-min Son. That's all they need. Yeah,
will Man City suffer from a sunstroke? Game week 7, we'll find out. Whee. Anyway, on to Sunday. Just the one game. A small case of West Ham have been rather poor recently. They like to concede goals. In fact, I think in their last 3 games before that game, they conceded 3 or more. I think Man City being 3, Watford being 4, and somehow West Brom being 4. I mean, that's the most damning thing of all, West Brom scoring 4 against you. I mean, I'd rather just retire the whole team.
I forgot we played Man City this season.
To be honest, you didn't play that bad in that one, once you got Antonio out of right back. But then I thought...
Antonio... Never mind.
But West Ham, I'm thinking this could be a tight game. If West Ham improve themselves, you've got Payet in form, Antonio in form. No, it was probably one of the worst performances of the season. And you got beaten 3-0 at home to Southampton. Your thoughts?
I mean, it wasn't 4-0 at half-time.
West Ham fans, they were trying to find a positive.
My thoughts. I knew we'd lost as soon as I saw the team sheet. About as good as it gets from me today. Nordveit was playing right back. Arbeloa was playing left back. Sam Byron was on the bench. Does that define it enough? It was just, from what I could here we just weren't in the game at all. We had one shot in target in the entire game, and I believe that was a edge of the box shot from none other than Mikel Antonio. Um, I just Bilic is making all the wrong decisions every week. I think if I was the West Ham boss, changes needed to be at foot. I would be dropping Adrian and bringing in Randolph, but now he said he's drunk. Drunk? Yep, drunk thing. I almost said drug thing. Drunk thing. I doubt that's going to happen. But Byron would be playing right back or left back. Arbeloa would be right back or left back. I'll keep the two centre backs. Midfield is going to have to stay largely the same, but up top, we need to play Fletcher because he's the only man that looks like he's going to try and do something in every game that he's played in.
Yeah.
And he's just been overlooked all the time because Zaza's got a bigger name. I mean, Zaza, I don't even know if he's registered a shot on target yet. It's getting to the point where I just do not want to talk about West Ham anymore because it's just the same shit every single week.
Same shit, different day.
I guess the only good thing about the England, we've given up now. The only good thing is that there's actually an English striker that's scoring goals in Charlie Austin.
That is very true, and it's good to
So I
see
would
Charlie
quite
Austin
like to see
finally
him get
start
picked for the England team.
knitting. I'd say that as well. But to be honest, if Southgate comes in, I can see Antonio being dropped and just the same old bollocks being picked. Unfortunately.
If Southgate actually drops Mikel Antonio, there will be riots because he is still the joint top goal scorer in the league.
Yeah, but this is England we're talking about.
I know. Just let's not get me started on the England selection yet.
Anyway, if we're going to spend a bit more time on West Ham, unfortunately.
No, we're not.
I want to get a few things rattled off. West Ham on FPL this season have had 6 assists. 1 from Masuaku,
4 from Payet.
1 from Gokhan, your favourite player, and 4 from Payet, yes. Those 4 from Payet came in 2 different games. That's slightly worrying. So you're thinking, oh, well, surely does have got one creator. At least West Ham must have more than one goal scorer. Well, unfortunately not.
Mikel Antonio.
James Collins has got one, which was the first game against Chelsea, and it was a rather good finish, but you won't see it again from James Collins. Then you got Manuel Lanzini from the penalty spot. No striker has actually scored yet. And top goal scorer, Antonio with 5, who is still being pushed down into right back. I think that's where the problem lies, is that if you had a top...
I actually lost my temper and turned off the radio stream when I heard, and it looks like Mikel Antonio has gone into right back. And I just put it away.
Because he's your best player. And Bilic is still insisting on putting him to right back. That is where Bilic will lose his job if he does. Because you can't push your best player into right back and then think, oh, why are we losing games? I don't get it. Well, I used to like Man City think, oh, we're going to go more attacking. We need to we need to get another striker and we're taking you off. We're going to bring Iheanacho up front. Sergio, get your ass into right back, mate. It's like, what? Gaffer, you lost your mind.
It's like if this is the equivalent for Man City, so that you take off Aguero and bring on Zabaleta. That's the basically how you're that's basically how you're treating him. It's like when Liverpool put what's his name?
Corker.
No, not Corker. The winger, Sterling and Ibe were playing right wing back and left wing back.
And that went well.
For Brendan Rodgers. Yeah, I mean he lost his job and then Sterling went to Man City. Anyway, do we have to talk about West Ham anymore? No,
we're done. Southampton, on the other hand, like I've said, people said, oh, well, they can't keep on selling this, they can't bring the manager in. Southampton will probably continue to do that, and I don't think they'll change anytime soon because they're making the right players sign. And bearing in mind, we're looking at a Southampton team that is under new management, got a few new players in, started to perform well now. They still haven't got Jay Rodriguez back properly. They signed what looks like a quality player in Buffal at the end of the transfer window. What?
Go on.
They signed a great looking player in Buffal, and he is yet to play, lack of match fitness. So Southampton only can get better. And they've got James Ward-Prowse to break into the first team. It's looking good for Southampton.
Don't care about Southampton.
Right, okay. We'll move quickly on to Monday then. We got Burnley 2, Watford 0. That really surprised me, actually. I thought Watford were going to go on
I
kick
was
on
really happy.
from their win against Manchester United, but Burnley did come back into things. They played really well, and I want to quote. I don't like to say I predict the future, but I should go with my gut and my heart more often, because a fan tweeted at me. No, I've got fans. Follow me on Twitter. But a fan tweeted at me, and he asked me something, and that question was about Fantasy 6 aside, who should be my captain, Kurtyoy or Deeney? And I said, at the moment I'm going with Deeney, but I might take a risk on Defoe as I really like him as a player for this game. What happens? Burnley win 2-0. Who gets 2 assists? Fucking Defoe.
Already Gomez. Oh.
Gomez. Yeah. Oh, sorry, mate, didn't see you there. Smacks it into Hendrick, smacks it into Keane. Like, fuck me, mate. I'm not having the best of times down here, like. But, no, Burnley, again, it's surprising because they played, a good game, but it came out of nowhere again.
Yeah.
But it was another 2 good goals.
Yeah, I mean, it's just... I can't define Burnley this season. Maybe they just don't need to play Andre Gray.
I don't really know what to say to that. Racist. Well, technically, he's probably the racist. He's been banned for previous tweets made in 2012. But
yeah.
Burnley looked good. Watford, I think I got so excited because I think, you know what? I'll admit, I got Watford wrong. I thought they were going to do bad. They're looking to push on. All of a sudden, they're back into the category now for me as, did I get it wrong again? Did I, accept Watford had changed too early? Because it's a game Watford should be winning, and they've been beating too comfortably for me.
Let's face it, the Premier League is a league where anything can happen any week. I mean, West Ham could go and play Middlesbrough next week and win or lose 8-0. The latter probably more likely to happen.
Could even be 8-all.
But it's even a league where Hull could beat Chelsea next week 3-1. I mean,
very true.
Burnley could win 2-0 against Arsenal. That's why the Premier League is so entertaining and so frustrating to be a part of.
Have you got a wind chime in your room?
No, I keep on... Basically, the wind's blown something. I'm trying to fucking put it back. And it keeps on hitting this bottle. Anyway, so we're going to do fixtures for next week, because I need to get into my character.
We can quickly run through fixtures next week, yeah.
Okay, are you ready?
Let's go for it.
On the Friday night at 8 PM, we have got Romelu Lukaku versus Christian Benteke for the first time this season in Everton versus Crystal Palace. And then moving on to Saturday at the midday kickoff, we have they're doing okay. Swansea versus the goal-scoring Liverpool. Then going on to that, we have newly promoted Hull City versus the very inconsistent Chelsea FC, who Diego Costa continue to be top of the goal-scoring list. Then we have game of the 3 o'clock kickoff, Sunderland versus West Bromwich Albion in an entertaining 0-0. That's the results. Anyway, we've got Watford versus Bournemouth following that. Well, I mean, still at 3 o'clock, but, it could be a good game, could go either way. And then we have another game, Middlesbrough 6, West Ham 0. And that's also a 3 o'clock kickoff. West Ham are at home. I don't know why I did it in that order. Then we move on into Sunday, where at midday we have Manchester United versus Stoke. Moving on after that, you've got the 2 o'clock to a 2:15 kickoffs, Leicester versus Southampton and Spurs Man City. And to finish off in the late kickoff, you've got Burnley versus Arsenal. And yes, I'm questioning it as well. Why is Leicester Southampton at 2 o'clock when it could be at 4:30 instead of Burnley Arsenal? And that's it.
Very well done.
Thank you.
That's okay. So they're the fixtures. Joe's going to go away for another week now.
Yep.
Quickly though, we've got a bit of time. Champions League was last night. CSKA Moscow versus Tottenham. Tottenham on 1-0. Heung-min Son again. I completely forgot about that. But yes, Heung-min Son yet again. CSKA, the third team in a row to suffer from sunstroke to get Heung-min Son. And then you've got Leicester versus Porto, and surprisingly, Leicester won, and Slimani got the goal. And to be honest, I do quite like the looks of Slimani. I did question whether he'd be able to do it in a league where there's not every team you look at and think, oh, I'll get a few goals against them. He's easy enough to play against. And he's doing it well because he played against one of the best teams he'd have played against when he was in Portugal, and he did all right, to be honest.
Yeah, but you got to remember he's still playing in Portugal, wasn't he?
He's actually at Leicester.
Sorry, playing a team in Portugal.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's unfamiliar to it. He's playing against these players all the time.
Very true.
So I'm not discounting his performance, or but you can't say that he's going to be a top forward yet. But in the Premier League, I think it was not last week, the week before, he was very good.
Burnley's got 2 goals.
Burnley, yeah, okay, Burnley. Well, either way.
And lastly, for the results, I think the only other one we want to talk about is Borussia Dortmund 2, Real Madrid 2.
I was very happy. You know
So
what I mean?
right.
I love my Dortmunds. Yeah. Well, what do you want to talk about with that? There's 2 goals for
I
each
don't
team.
know. I do really have no
Aubameyang scored
idea.
again, didn't he?
I went to sleep early. I missed all the games, so I've no idea.
Aubameyang scored again, though, didn't he? What a player!
Aubameyang scored again. Ronaldo
See him
scored
in a
again.
West Ham shirt when he's
Schürrle
67.
scored again. Varane scored again. Oh,
I don't think Varane scored again. He just scored.
don't know what I'm talking about.
We done?
No, we're going to look forward to the 2 English games this week. Arsenal versus Basel. Hopefully Arsenal win, otherwise they're going to be in a lot of trouble yet again for another group stage. And then we've also got Celtic versus Man City. Man City will get about 8, Celtic will get 1 if Stones is playing.
You're also missing the second most important thing in Europe, the Europa League.
Very, very true. Man United versus Zorya Luhansk.
What a game that sounds like.
Can't wait for that one.
Rashford will score 7.
And then we've also got what other English teams have we got? Let's have a look.
Southampton.
I haven't got to them yet. I don't know if I'm blind. Southampton
That's the
versus
only other team.
Harpal Beersheva.
Oh my god. So tune into the Europa League this Thursday night because it sounds like quite the cracker.
I can't wait.
That sounds awful.
Best of all is Roma versus Astragugu. We're going to play the silent game.
Fuck you!
But yeah, that's pretty much
It's alright
everything
though,
covered.
because we did it to concentrate on the league.
And that went well.
Yeah. Anyway, let's go.
Yeah, we've got nothing else to talk
Right.
about now. But I think we got to sign it off properly by waffling on for another minute. Sorry, it's in your contract.
But FIFA's out in 10 hours.
10 hours, really?
Yeah.
You need to order
10
that.
hours.
I haven't got enough money to order it. Oh,
Oh,
well.
well, I've got the Super Deluxe Edition.
Wait, are you ordering it on Xbox?
No, I've already bought it.
So, it's already downloaded and everything?
Yeah.
Ah, I see. I've got a
It
content.
was already downloaded because you played the trial.
Ah.
I feel like this conversation can wait.
Yeah, probably. Well, that's been it for the podcast. Hopefully you all enjoyed. In all its glory, we don't plan anything because I don't think a podcast should be planned. Well, there are times it should be planned, but
Structure.
it should have
Which
a
it
structure.
does have.
It's
We
not
do
the
have
structure
structure.
is the lack of structure. The structure
right.
of our podcast is like the structure of a snake's backbone. It doesn't have one. I think.
Hey,
I've no idea. I just took a
I'm
guess.
starving.
Anyway, thank you all for watching. Hope you have enjoyed. Remember, if you've got any questions, leave them below. If anyone actually is still alive and watching this or listening to this. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and I think we'll see you next week, unless we're busy, then the week after, or whenever we're actually
If
ready
West
again.
Ham win, we're definitely seeing you next week.
If West Ham win, there we go. You've heard it here first. Or draw.
It depends on who scores.
If Antonio scores, Payet assist.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Is there any other way there's going to be a goal?
Lanzini penalty. James Collins spinning kick.
Ginger Pele. Anyway, right. See ya.
Bye.